Hello, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren. I'm your resident intuitive baddie. And well, I'm starting a new series. I wanna learn. I wanna learn more about what my cards mean. This channel is mainly about learning. And I've been seeing a lot of videos recently of people literally just reading books. Like, I've seen some where it's specifically to improve their speech. And then I've seen other people who just like love the book or whatever. And I was just like, oh, that's smart. So I have the Starseed Oracle here. Starting with the Oracle. There's 53 cards in the deck, so I am probably going to do about 5 cards each video, and literally I'm just going to read. I will read from the book what it means and then maybe I'll see what comes through. If something comes through. And if not, then, you get to find out you get to have somebody read the meanings of these cards to you. I've been finding that I do learn a lot from watching other tarot readers, but I do think sometimes like for something like this, it never hurts to know the definition, but I know a lot of people can read these cards intuitively, or like, they've done enough where they've used it enough where they understand it. I don't use my Oracle deck so much. Specifically this one, because it's so big, my hands are so small. Okay, we have 3 so far. At first I was going to do it in alphabetical order, but I was like, it's not fun. Need 2 more. And yeah, this is good for me to still kind of do it. Or just practice. I don't know, it's like dipping my feet in. I was trying to do readings on music because typically I channel a lot of music, but honestly I kept getting the same song, so I think I'm stuck. I got 6 this time. I'll do 5 or 6, just around that range. But yeah, this time I'm doing 6 because 6 came out. Okay, so just reminding myself of how I'm going to organize it later. Okay. So the first one we have is You Are Not Alone. Or You're Not Alone. Underneath it says isolation, physical connection, and community. Oh God, you guys are gonna just have to watch me flip through those. Honestly, one of my biggest lessons has been around patience. So if you're here rocking with me, it's because you need patience. You need to mirror the level of patience that I've cultivated for myself. All right, so you're not alone. Isolation, physical connection, community. It's also on the card. The older the soul, the deeper the cave. Many starseeds and old souls enjoy their own company. Spending time alone can be comforting and necessary for their vitality, as it allows them to commune with their soul and fill up their energetic resources, especially if they have an underactive or open root chakra or find it hard being human. Many starseeds find it more nourishing to retreat than to spend more time in meaningless conversations and relationships. However, we must remember that we're not here to go about this life alone. Humans are pack animals, and we all need love, company, and support of others, both emotionally and physically. In our increasingly online world, we can be connected to more people and yet feel more alone and isolated than ever. There's still so much we don't know about the energetic side effects of things like social media, with so many people knowing our news. What is it doing to our auric field? Commonly, we find ourselves in constant conversation, yet lacking the genuine connection of physical community and touch. The main message of this card is to step out of your cave and physically reach out to those in your life. To replenish when you need to, but not to isolate yourself. This could be seeing friends and family who live nearby or having a regular catch-up walk with someone. In what ways can you open yourself up to the people who are physically in your life, those who you truly know? And then the Starseed Soul Inquiry. How can you reach out to people in your physical life? Oh, sorry. It's the same thing. I don't have to reread it. Okay. I like the imagery here too. So basically what I get from this, thinking about my own situation too, because I guess if you're here and you're on the same journey as me, it's like when you are trying to change yourself, when you're trying to change your identity, I can't remember. This communication coach, Vin Jang, he basically, he would teach that, what was it? Sometimes when he tries to teach people how to be more animated, he'll tell them to practice silly voices, or and then their partners or people in their regular life would be like, oh, why are you doing that? Because it's unfamiliar to them, right? And because they are unfamiliar and they ask, what happens to a lot of people is they become self-conscious, and then rather than to continue, then they'll just kind of stop because they're like, oh, now I'm weird, because so it's kind of like that. I want to say is, I feel when that happens to me, when I'm trying to change, and it's like I'm trying to really ground a new version of myself, or like, I guess 2025, that's what pretty much 2025 was for me. But as I was trying to ground myself, I knew that I had to stay away from energies that were easily influencing me for a specific period of time. But I am now at a point where I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, because I don't care what people think anymore. So then when you're around energies that don't match yours, or don't resonate with yours, you don't shrink anymore to try to be on their vibration. You kind of just you just let it go, and you just be in some other way. Okay, so next one. We the Hathors, deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal. My God, my daughter's about to be 2. She's gonna be 2 in just a little over 2 weeks. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm getting like a preview of, what's it called? The Terrible Twos. It's no joke, bro. These kids, these toddlers, they test you. Oh, I don't know why I was in like the beginning. Okay, here we go. We the Hathors, deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal. I'm gonna stop reading that part off the card, and actually no, because I show the card. Okay. Birth is a portal that ushers in new life. The Hathors are here to remind you that you're a child of the Cosmic Mother and you're being called to be held by her deep, never-ending love and embrace. This is a tender, nourishing card reminding you to receive the deep, deep love of the Mother's embrace. Did I already read that? No, it's just, okay. That confused the shit out of me, sorry. The Hathors know that the journey on Earth can be rocky and lonely at times. But you're being reminded to rest more deeply in the Mother's arms. This is a card of extreme potency, or of femininity, of creation, and of birth. You're being called to mother yourself and others too, to surrender your sacred femininity, to create and surrender to your own creations, to hold and to be held. You're being called to remember your place in the web of life and to realize that the Cosmic Mother is watching you every step of the way. You may be going through a transition right now, moving from one way of being to another. If so, you're being reminded that you're cradled in a sacred container, and that you're more held than you can possibly imagine, and you can have access to more love than your heart can bear. If you're struggling in any way, you're being reassured that things will work out. Open yourself to receiving the overflowing love of the Cosmic Mother, flooding toward you from every direction. Let it stretch your heart. So for myself, definitely rings true. I am definitely going through a transition this week specifically. I think that example that I gave for the first card, about seeing people, or like being around people who you don't resonate with and just being able to just be, I think tied into that, sometimes like a lot of people who are, I want to say people pleasers, people who dim their own lights, people who have the potential, or like know they have spotlight energy, but they dim it to be around others. So this transition for me is that I'm learning how to just be how to just be regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the people around me, and in having these realizations and really separating myself from other people, and really figuring out not figuring out what it is that I want, but allowing my visions to all kind of expand in front of me and just weave the path that I'm meant to go on. So yeah, I'm at a point now where it's like there are ideas that I have that are ready to be birthed, and yeah, I am specifically with femininity. That is something that I've struggled with. I've always led with a very masculine energy. I was raised by my dad. Like my I said that like my mom was gone or something. No, she was the one that worked. My dad was retired, so he majority raised me. So yeah, I'm very much a doer. Like I like to do things, and it's hard for me to receive. And something that I'm starting to understand is that I wasn't receiving at the capacity that I could have been had I been able to or balance out my femininity early on. But I mean, that's just life, right? Or it comes with life experiences and choosing to be open to it. And it's just, I wasn't ready before. But this past year, I've been embracing a lot more of my femininity, my sensuality, because if you know, with the chakra system, it, like, sex is tied to creation and creativity. Like, they're all linked together. So it was like I was a creative person, but because I think too much, I would never be able to really finish things. And then it also and then it's tied to my self-worth and not and dimming myself around others and just being fearful in general. And now I'm leaning more into trust. I'm leaning more into my intuition. And yeah, we're doing the thing. We here. All right. Next one, star bathing, light body crystal grid transmission activation. Okay, this is a spread. I guess the difference is I'm doing it one by one, and I'm literally reading the book and not just intuitively reading. I might get there one day if I feel like doing it. I probably will. Okay. Star bathing. Oh, right. I just said it. Okay. This is how I am with myself. The stars are constantly showering emanations onto the crystalline grid of the Earth. When things are in balance, the planet also sends information back up to the stars. Many starseeds have come to Earth at this time to help shift the planet vibrationally, to activate the ancient codes of wisdom that humanity has forgotten, and all of the information stored in the crystalline grid. Crystalline. If you pull this card, you may be being called to begin. Why was that a tongue twister? To begin working with the stars and crystalline grid of the Earth. Some people believe that the crystalline grid of the Earth anchors divine cosmic frequencies onto the planet. You may be guided to journey to particular places on Earth to unlock these cosmic codes with your presence. You may also be interested in a practice called starbathing. Download a starbathing meditation at... Okay. Whoops. This card commonly arises because you're here to connect with the crystalline grid of the Earth, either in your hometown or by traveling to other places without knowing quite why. It can also mean that your light body, the energy body in its highest form, is being activated. If this resonates, take things extra slow in order to regain this change of vibration. Okay. So what that signifies to me is, travel and, okay, sorry, I was trying to look in my brain for a situation where I have done that, or that has happened to me where I felt called to a specific place. So last year on my birthday, I went to Banff. It was my 30th birthday, best birthday. It was great. It was quite amazing. It was just very beautiful, very serene, very perfect for, just being in nature and just loving. It's just beautiful. But yeah, it's kind of funny because the way that happened was it was just maybe a couple months after separating from my husband. So I was like, I was just telling my friend, I don't want to do like a birthday party because it's like, I feel so weird about who would I invite. And it's just like knowing that, this is back when I gave a shit what people thought. But it was also, anyways, but yeah, just knowing that people would be like, what's on their mind is that I'm separated, and it's like, do I invite him? Do I not invite him? He's still the father of my child. And it's just like, we have a lot of mutual friends. But then at the same time, I was like, man, I don't know. I don't even know who I fuck with anymore. Cause that, yeah, I found out last year. I found out who to shed, and it's just like, yeah. So I was just not about it, and then I told my friend, and my friend was going to be in the city that's in Calgary, which is close, for work, and he had like everything expensed. So I just went, and it like made it affordable for me to go, because if I did not have accommodations, it would have been a much more expensive trip. So I just had to really worry about food, and not even food all the time, because they had a buffet included. But yeah, so that's one time I was very strongly called to a place. But I mean, I also see, like, if something happens in your family and you have to, or like you're gonna go see family for a specific reason, somebody's getting married and you travel there, or it's your friend's bachelorette and then you go to a specific, it's like I see that as being called to specific places as well. Yeah, or it's like, it's more simple than it sounds. Or yeah, it's like, I think, and these are the things that it's like, I feel like people don't, or it goes over people's heads how profound really simple seeming things are. There. Anyways, I could go on forever. This is gonna be a long video. Maybe I hope people like this, if people do watch this. All right, next we have the Great Severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. Okay, it's under G. This is a shadow card, one that may feel confrontational. Don't be afraid. It's here to bring to the surface anything that's standing in the way of letting love in. The warring planet of Mars is our constant reminder that it's important to soften, forgive, and find our way back to love. There are many things in the human experience that make it difficult for our heart and soul to stay open to the never-ending source of love. We're all wounded, and our unconscious wounds inflict wounds on others. It can feel like a never-ending dance. We can never escape. If we aren't careful, before long, we'll see the world as a scary, dangerous place where fear and anxiety roam free. Yeah. I think that's where we are. If this card surfaces, it could be for two reasons. Firstly, for you to acknowledge the difficult emotions, situations, conflicts, wounds, and fears that are causing you pain and anxiety. And secondly, for you to find your way back to love. When we're hurt, it's normal to close off our hearts to the world, to let the painful experience confirm the agony of separation in earthly life. Soften and find your way back to love anyway. When fear, anxiety, and paranoia paralyze you, it's normal to want to hide away from others in the world. Come out of your cave and soften your heart anyways. We're all innocent children spinning our way around the world. Find the way to see the innocence in all people, especially yourself. Starseed Soul Inquiry. How are you cutting yourself off from love? How can you soften towards those who have hurt you? I mean, this seems pretty, it sounds pretty straightforward. I'm trying to relate it back to my own experience. I think I'm just coming out of this, to be very honest. I don't know if I was closed off to love, but I think I was closed off to, or I was locked in on a certain idea of love. And now it's like I'm relearning what it means to love. That's what I'm getting, so I hope that resonates with you. I mean, it even kind of goes back to the "you are not alone" card, because it mentions that, you know, like feeling isolation and just, yeah, how I was saying that when you feel kind of like you don't resonate with people, it's like it can feel lonely, and it could feel hard to trust wanting to have people in your life, because you don't want to change, you don't want to end up changing because of them, but like it's part of the journey, it's part of inner strength to know yourself so well and love yourself so well that it doesn't matter who comes in, and you allow yourself to explore. You allow yourself to try, and you trust yourself to be able to feel it out and to leave when the situation is wrong. And it's like, if it's not, then you do what you need to do to heal that. Okay, next one. Breath of the cosmos, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. Ooh. One of the reasons why I got this deck is just, I love the colors. This like soft blue, purple, pink. Oh, love it. Okay. Oh, where's the I'm like, where's the book? Okay, Breath of the Cosmos. So let's be. Okay. When we rely on our own will, we're micromanaging the universe and resisting the natural flow of life. We're not trusting the mysterious breath of life. We're rejecting the great cosmic intelligence and relying instead on our personal strength. When we do this, we find ourselves attempting to bend things to our will. We spend our time forcing, pushing, and living from a space of trying to. Everyone around us can feel it, and the universe can too. You're being called to stop micromanaging the universe and trust the breath of life, to surrender the great will that God has for you, to move from my will to thy will. When you surrender the greater will of your life, the greater will of life, you will begin dancing with the rest of life. When you bow to the great mystery and say, please use me, please show me the way, little by little, you find yourself living your most authentic life. When you surrender your personal will, when you relinquish control and release the way that you look at that you think things should be, and surrender to the greater will, you find yourself being led. You begin breathing the same breath, or you begin breathing the breath of life. Jesus Christ. I'm like, am I thinking too hard when I'm reading it? So, you know, sometimes, and this is why I always had trouble in school, I think part of it was that I need not just needing to read slower sometimes, but I think it's just a repetition thing sometimes. It's like, I think the first time I read something, it doesn't sink in as well, just because I think I'm so concentrated on actually reading, at least when I'm reading out loud. So yeah, I'm like, oh, I don't want to stutter, but it's a learning process. If you're even here this long, then I assume you accept that this is a learning process. So basically what I get from this, or like how this applies to me, is this is something that I've been grappling with, because I think when you start getting into spirituality, there are so many different ways that these concepts are taught. And there's so many different ways that people talk about into getting here. It's like, I think there are people who promote pieces of how manifestation, which is really just the law of correspondence / it's like pretty much like universal law stuff. Yeah, correspondence. Fuck, where was I going with that? Oh, okay, yeah. So that everything happens at the vibrational level, right? So it's or at a frequency level. So when people, like, I would say mainstream spirituality kind of alludes to the fact that, oh, if you just visualize, or if you just do these practices, then you will manifest. And what happens is there's so much more to it, and it really is simple. Because people's main issues is just overthinking, or just having too much going on in their head. I'd say that's me right now. Or it's just like you're thinking too much. You're thinking about something. So it's like, I guess what I'm thinking about is I'm thinking about how I'm being perceived right now. Ooh, see, this is presence. This is presence. My definition of presence is just calling myself out on whatever the fuck it is that I'm doing. Just being aware of what the fuck it is that I'm doing, and just being like, this is what you're doing. So yeah, I think a part of me has like, or there's parts of me that are nervous that are coming up, because I'm stuttering a little bit, and I'm not getting, like, my thoughts aren't coming out fast enough. I was thinking about this earlier today. It's like the way for my thoughts to translate to words, the conversion rate is slow. And that's why I think a lot. I'm a Gemini rising and a Virgo moon, so like a lot of analyzing, a lot of like just thinking. So where was I going? Oh, yeah, it's just like I think too fast, and I can't get the words out, or like there'll be something I'm thinking, but I can't find the right words to actually channel it. And that's why I don't really, or I don't free channel yet. I mean, unless you count this, or maybe it's just, I'm just thinking of a tradition, like not a more traditional, but like how everybody else does it. And I'm not everybody else. But yeah, like trust specifically. So there was something in an audiobook that I listened to earlier today. I think it's the game of life and how to play it. And it was something about, wait, was it on that, or was it on the Buddhist tales? I don't know. See, I listened to so much stuff. Anyways, it was about like fear and trust, and how fear and trust are both self-fulfilling prophecies, and something about how fear is just a lack of trust, because when you fear something, it's because you don't trust that things will go like in a more positive direction. So, and therefore you're scared of that. You're scared of a negative outcome. But then that is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and then that brings you that correspondence. It brings in the things you fear, or versions of, or things with the essence of whatever it is you fear. But if you are rooted in, what is it again? It was fear and truth, right? Trust, fear and trust. I was like, no, it wasn't truth. Trust. If you trust that things are always happening for your highest good, that, you know, you are always protected, and that you're meant to do great things, stuff like that, then it's like your fears dissolve. Because if you actually trust it, if you trust your intuition, you trust what's in your heart, then there's nothing to fear. Makes complete sense. All right, last card. Earthed. Learning how to be human in a world, but not of it. I want to say 6 is too much. Maybe 4 or 5. We'll see how I'll feel. Oh, I was like on the same one, and I was like, wait, I read this already. What is it? Earth. Okay. The challenge for all souls having a human experience is to be in the world, but not of it. To realize they are souls having a human experience and being fully conscious of it. To have their soul fully embody their body. People's personalities tend to relate to either transcendence or immanence. I don't know what that means. Those who lean toward transcendence have a longing for the heavens and the metaphysical. They yearn for a personal experience with God and to be lost in the heavens. They're envious of the angels and are more comfortable praying and hanging out in the stars than on earth. Those who tend toward immanence have attached themselves more to earth and their body. They spend more time thinking about things in the physical world rather than connecting with the heavens or to their own mystical inner worlds. Being a fully embodied soul having a human experience means finding the balance between transcendence and immanence. Being in the world but not of it. Most starseeds are drawn toward transcendence. They're more comfortable with the angels and the heavens. Life on earth can be more difficult for them. If this is you, you're being reminded that you chose to be a soul in a body on earth. You're being called to focus more of your energies in the physical world. To learn how to be human, a soul in a human body, fully present to what life on earth has to bar. A soul in a human body, fully present to what life on earth has to offer you. Starseed Soul Inquiry, do you tend to long for the stars or be more in the physical? And how can you find greater balance between the two? I don't know why I read these questions. I probably should just say what I think and then maybe do questions after. I don't know. All right. So with that, I guess what it means, or for myself, like I said, I'm in my head a lot. Also, I'd say because of my childhood, I'm one of those people who operates more with the higher chakras naturally, and most of my blocks were in the lower three, because root is safety, sacral is like sexual creative, and then your solar plexus is like your identity, like who you are. So those were broken for a really long time, and I think I would have a lot of ideas and I would have a lot of things that I wanted to do, and I think it's a Gemini trait as well to have a lot of options and to kind of throw yourself into analysis paralysis sometimes. So I'd say that right here. Part of me, I mean, kind of as in some of the other cards, it's about having this identity shift and corresponding to the frequency of what I want for myself on this earth. So it's like it comes with the presence, right? Like it's great to be connected. It's great to continuously learn about, or it's like it's cool to look into the future, to tap into your feelings and tap into others' emotions, but part of the experience is living the experience. And again, it's about balance. It's making sure that as much as I'm planning and planning and keeping my mental and my spirit healthy, I'm also doing the same with my physical human experience, that I'm going out to places, that I'm enjoying the earth and not just one little piece of it, meeting people, having connections. Yeah, it all makes sense together. Maybe next time, maybe I'll jot down some notes of, I don't know. If you guys want to watch me do that, you're basically watching me study Oracle cards. I wonder what I'm going to name this series. I mean, you'll know by the next series. But yeah, so basically I'm going to put the book in between so that I'm only ever shuffling cards I haven't read yet. Like I said, I don't read often. I'm not, like, reading isn't, reading's something I do for fun. And who knows, maybe I will someday do readings the more that I get to know cards and stuff. But I think this channel, at least, is more of an education channel. An education through how I educate myself. Through my thoughts and realizations. Anyways, if you have gotten this far, because this is a very fucking long video, and there was a lot of me stumbling over my words, so I commend you if you are still here. I hope it resonated, and yeah, thank you for listening. Until next time.